Hey everyone, welcome to Play Guitar News today. Welcome to the weekend. How's it going, everybody? Really happy to be here with you today. We got some fun stuff we're going to talk about in a little bit. We got a whole weekend full of fun stuff that we're kicking off. Let's see here. I think I see Evan here. We got some people filing in right now. I see Dean's here. Evan's here. We got a few more coming in a few minutes. Hope you all had a great week. If you're not, if you are new here and like to know what's going on, this is some community things that we do over at the Play Guitar community, and we're having a really great time. We do news on Friday, and then we have guitar talk on Saturday. The community hangout on Sunday, and then the live podcast, Play Guitar Podcast, on Monday. And so we're kicking off the weekend. I hope everybody's doing good. Let's go ahead and head over to the chat. I think we got a few folks that have popped in. There we go. So Dean and Evan. Evan says, nice shirt. That's right, man. Here, we'll take a look at the shirt. Very cool, very cool. We got some. Let's see here on the back too. Yeah. Yeah. Evan says, rough week, but I've got a fishing trip planned tomorrow. Sounds good. Sounds good. And he says that's supposedly relaxing, but I wouldn't know for sure. Well, let us know how it turned out. Let's see if it's relaxing or not. Yeah, we're just going to hang out here for a minute or two till we get some more folks filing in. We got some... let's talk about the weekend. So for tomorrow, hopefully David's still able to do it tomorrow. I'm planning on spending some time with David, going through his Spark amp, the Positive Grid Spark amp that looks pretty cool. And then on Sunday for our hangout, I think we have the return, well, the debut of Scooter. So Scooter's going to join us on Sunday. I was able to get in touch with him this week, and he said he'd be happy to hang out with us Sunday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then Monday, we have got the live podcast. We're going to be talking about hammer-ons and pull-offs this week. I went over that a little bit when we did legato. I don't remember what episode that was, a little while ago. And when we do this podcast this Monday, we're going to get more in depth into hammer-ons and pull-offs and what you need to know to be able to play them and to get used to playing them and all of those kind of things. Okay, so Evan says, I've never really been fishing, not seriously. You're in the right place for it, man. I'm surprised. Some serious fishing. Dean says he's got his tracking number finally, and so his Spark will be delivered next Thursday. Yeah, I think there's Dean, David. I think Marty said he's got one coming. There's a couple other folks have one too. So what I'm going to start trying out a new platform tomorrow and Sunday. It's called StreamYard, and just going to try it out. It's going to say StreamYard at the top because I'm not going to go all in until I know it's going to work well. But maybe we could have a Spark amp shootout. Get everybody together who's got their amps once they all come in. So that's going to be fun. So let's go ahead and get the news started here. Kicking off the weekend. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start off with Marcus King. Marcus King's auctioning 3 full guitar and bass rigs. He's featuring autographed Tellys, Les Pauls, and more, and it's all to benefit Music Cares. The auction is part of King's Four of a Kind Live from Nashville charity series. Marcus King's in the midst of his 4-night full production live stream series, Four of a Kind, Live from Nashville. And as part of the event, he has now announced a new gear auction with orange amplifiers to help raise money for Music Cares. The auction is divided into 3 separate rigs, with the high roller rig features a Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s, and that's got a bourbon burst finish, and it's signed by King. It also has an orange Tremlord 30 combo amp and a bunch of Ernie Ball accessories, including braided instrument cable, Axis capo picks, a slide, and more, and a set from Optoweb Elixir strings. Let's head on over, scroll down a little bit. This is all on Guitar World. And let's see here. Looks like these are the 3 rigs, all orange amps. The gut shot rig looks like a bass rig to me. The high roller rig, and then the Card Shark rig looks like a Tele based rig with some headphones. That's interesting. Card Shark is a Fender Player Telecaster signed by Marcus, an orange Crush Pro 60, and some wireless headphones, and a custom Moody leather MLK guitar strap signed by King, and a set of Optoweb Electrics. And then the Gut Shot rig sports an autographed Fender Player Precision bass, a Terra bass head, and a OBC 112 cab with the JHS pedal haunting mids preamp and some strings. And those auctions end on July 31st. And the Gut Shot auction extends until August 3rd. And so you can head over to Marcus King Band to place a bid. I didn't realize that he was doing these live streams. Of course, there's a lot of live streams going on there. So pretty neat. Great player. He played in my neck of the woods a few months before all this mess happened there. So let's go ahead over to the chat before we go on to the next one. And let's see here. There we go. Okay, so let's move on here to this guy right here. Oh, look at that. Isn't he nice? Timothy Chalamet carries a guitar as he prepares for his upcoming role as Bob Dylan. Timothy Chalamet is currently spending his time strumming a guitar as he practices for his upcoming role. The 24-year-old seems to be taking his impending role as the iconic musician pretty seriously. As he headed to a guitar lesson earlier this week in New York City, Timothy, who was accompanied by his father, could be seen carrying a bulky Gibson guitar as he made his way towards a black sports car. How about that? Early this year, Deadline reported the star would portray a young Bob Dylan. And they're going to do the transition from folk singer to rock legend. And the film is titled Going Electric, directed by James Mangold. Timothy and James, who directed Ford versus Ferrari, aren't the only famous names. Bob Dylan himself is going to be the executive producer on the film. Let's take a look here. He's headed to the guitar lessons. Well, at least he's taking it seriously. These kind of movies can go either way, if you know what I'm saying. Sometimes they're great, and sometimes they don't. But hopefully it goes the Crossroads direction, and we get a good Bob Dylan movie here. Pretty neat. Okay, so let's move on to an early 60s guitar played by a young Jimi Hendrix is going up for auction. This is a, let's see here. This is, let's see. It's at Cruise GWS Auctions. It's got a starting bid of $50,000. The instrument was said to have been played early in his career. Let's take a look over at the website. It says it's a Japanese electric guitar. I don't think it has any markings on the headstocks. There's Jimmy right there. Auction page suggested that he played it heavily before migrating to London. Used it with sessions with Wilson Pickett, Slim Harpo, Sam Cooke, and Tina Turner and Jackie Wilson, as well as I think I've seen a picture of him playing this guitar too. I think I have. Let's see here. He also played it at Cafe Juan Cheetah Club, and documents that verify the instrument. The authenticity come in the form of a letter from Leon Hendrix, a notified letter from the friend whom Jimmy left the guitar with in New York, and a statement from the previous collector. No logos, but has some Japanese, has the string bar, duo, vintage single coils, and pickup toggle switches. Also appears to have a vibrato system that's seen better days. Yeah, but I think have you guys seen this before? I think I've seen a picture of him playing this before in the old club days, so that'd be a neat one to have. Definitely. All right. So let's go. We're going to tear through these, and then we're just going to have some chat and hang out today. Let's take a look over here at this one. This one is a researcher support tool lets disabled people play guitar. A visit to a day service center in 2015 has led to an assistance device that puts the magic of playing music into the hands of disabled people. It's Yukiko Nishinohira, who's 44, said she was inspired by repeated requests from disabled individuals at the facility. And let's see, they asked to try out her acoustic guitar, and she brought that along as a volunteer music therapist. And now she's a researcher at my university's graduate school of engineering, and she created some equipment to help cerebral palsy and other patients who are unable to move their hands to wield guitars. Now, this is something very interesting to me, as I have helped a lot of disabled people play guitar. And so let's see if we can get, there she is with the device, and it's over the, I'm curious there. Have you seen that the guitar thing where you press a button and it frets the chords for you, kind of like an auto harp? I'm curious if that's just, let's kind of scan down here and see. So she saw, when she was at a facility, she saw a physically disabled person with cerebral palsy use fingertip movements to click on a computer mouse. So she thought that might be cool, thinking of a way to hold guitar strings in the same way. And she completed the prototype in 2017. And the support tool mounts on the guitar neck and can be slid manually to determine the desired sounds. When the device is clicked like a computer mouse, it pushes all 6 strings simultaneously, and while strings are plucked with the user's other hand. So it allows you to pluck strings with this hand, but this frets the different shapes. Sounds similar to that thing I was talking about before. To show off its technique at an academic conference. Let's see here. His name is Yasusuke Ito, 34, practices with this and can now perform in front of live audiences. That's pretty cool. That's neat. I'm going to look up a video on that later on, see if we can see how it works. I had several students who had issues with hand-eye coordination actual mobility issues as well. And so that would really be an interesting thing for me. Okay, so I'm going to head on over to the chat just for a second. I see Kevin's come in. Hey, Kevin, good to see you, man. He says, hey, Fretboard Wizards. And Evan R's here. We got both Evs. We got the Rev Ev and Evan R. How about that, man? That's cool. Good to see everybody. Check something here real quick. Okay. So we got one more that we're going to talk about today. And then we're just going to do some chat and hang out a little bit. Quick one today. And that's this. What do you let's take a look. Right there. What do you think about that? That is really something. I've seen this before. What this is, it's Jerry Garcia's pretzel guitar resurfaces. So the Grateful Dead's legendary Europe 72 tour, Sam Cutler's magnum opus as the band's tour manager nearly killed him. He said he went into the hospital, really died. And after he recovered, he got a gift. And that was a gift by Jerry Garcia. And he said that it was one of the first built instruments by Alembics Rick Turner. So there it is. Let's get a better shot of it down there. So that's an Alembic, really, really, really sculpted out guitar. Pretty neat. You can tell the pickups give it away right there. And as you go through here, it was the guy who has it said it was the guitar was built for Jerry, but the person who made it remembers it differently. He says he never mentioned it was built specifically for Garcia, but he confirms that Garcia owned the guitar. He thought it was cool, and he got it from us and wound up not liking what it was, a peg head diver, meaning that due to the weight, it was neck heavy. The head of the guitar dies below the body when using a strap. Yeah, let's see. See here. Yeah, so with all that weight loss on the low end and the big headstock here, it'll those are tough to deal with. Take your hands off the guitar and they just, that's it. And they go through more things about different people who stole it and returning it. And let's see. And how they got it back, inspected it, and it deemed it in original condition. And they brought it to Bob Weir. And so it was never stage used, but it's an important piece of history. Stacking of different types of woods, a scalped brass nut, and the hand-wound Turner pickups. So pretty neat. Very neat guitar. He's only going to be the guitar's caretaker for a short time while we find it appropriate. An appropriate long-term home. Pretty neat, man. Pretty neat. Okay, so that's guitar news for today. Let's start the hangout a little bit. Let me flip over there. Here we go. So Evan says, that's a work of art. Wouldn't want one, but it's interesting. And Evan R says, can you eat it when you get the munchies? I wouldn't try that there. I sure wouldn't at all. Hey, Mr. from Russia is here. Welcome back, man. Good to see you. So we got a good crowd in here now. We're going to open the chat up, open up some questions, and let's let me know how your week went. How's your practicing going? Summertime is traditionally a low practice time, and I found the opposite. I'm actually getting some time with the guitar, so maybe it's because of the pandemic and all of those things. But Let me know how your practicing is going. And with a lot of people with new gear too, new gear usually will get some good practice sessions. I'm thinking, for me, once we get settled, I'm going to be replacing this Line 6 floorboard here. And I have a lot of different ideas of what I'm going to do. Now, in the new studio, I'm going to have my amps with me, several different amps. And I kind of would like to use some of those to get a real amp tone. But, you know, it's not always easy to do. So I've been spending my time looking into ISO cabs. I have a little one. I have this little one called the Axe Track, and it's got a little, I think it's like a 6-inch speaker in there, and you plug your amp into it, and it already has a mic in it, and then that goes out. So that keeps the everything else out of the guitar signal, but it also keeps it pretty quiet in the room. But it doesn't always sound like a 12-inch speaker. So I've been looking at ISO cabs where you can put your own speaker in there. The Randall has one. There's a few other ones that I've been looking at. So and then I don't know how practical that's going to be. And so I was thinking maybe of getting rid of the pod and going for, I don't know, like an Axe Effects or something else, something that's going to make me want to sit down and really have some fun playing guitar there. So, and let's see. Evan says the practice is going good. Got to get my video done tonight. Evan says build one. Yeah, I have gotten rid of all of my. Let's see. I gave my dad my my table saw, and so, but I still have a lot of stuff. Maybe when I get someplace where I can actually build one, I will. Basically, there's two different ways of doing it. There's the Randall sits about this far off the ground and down probably about, I don't know, 12 to 18 inches. That's where the speaker board sits. And then underneath that is behind it is an area where you put like RLX or some sort of studio phone, so it doesn't have a boxy kind of sound. And then on the inside of it, the cover sits on top. You have a microphone stand, usually like a gooseneck microphone with a clip on it. And so you can position that where you want over the speaker. Most really good, if you really look into people who mic amps, they're usually using usually like a condenser or a ribbon mic along with the SM57. So maybe having two of those. I've seen one that has two. A lot of the, I'd say that the Randall ISO cab goes for around 500. There was a Jet City one that looks like you could get it around 250, something like that. And then some nicer ones where you could use more than one microphone. Those are over $1,000. So probably not going to be spending over $1,000 on that. In fact, I could probably build one like Evan says, but don't really have the place to do it right now, and don't really have the time. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know, maybe pick a used one up sometime. Maybe, I don't know. Gloria's here. Hey, Gloria, how you doing? Hope everything's going good. So Evan says practice going good, but got to get his video done tonight. Yep, that we got our new slots. So I guess, Evan, have you traded with Joe? I'm guessing, since you're going to be getting it done tonight. I appreciate that happening, because I know Joe had been asking for it, so that's pretty cool for you to do. We've had about 5 people who haven't signed up for a day yet, so I'm going to be keeping my eye out if those come in, and we'll see. But Saturday is my day that's a little bit more open. So Gloria says, I just recorded my video and I got a long way to go. That's all right. We all have a long way to go, but we're no problem, man. No problem at all. That's the fun part about it. Taking the pressure off of, you know, I'm not good until I get you. No, you're good at each step of the way. You're there. You know, there's things that I would play. I would love to hear some of the things that I played when I was like 17 or 18. You know, I'd love to hear what that sounded like, because I've changed over time, and I don't think, you know, that's how I played at that time in my life, and I would think it was pretty neat. I know I'd be playing different, probably playing a lot faster than I played now, because that's the kind of music I was really into at the time. So, David says, been floating in and out, but practice is going good with the Spark amp. Awesome. You think you'd be able to join us tomorrow, David? That'd be fun. I'm curious to all the other things that come other than just the sounds. I'm curious to, you know, using the app and all of those things. I really like to hear how that's going, if it's easy to use and everything. Let's see here. Evan says, does it motivate you? Does it have the motivation button there? Dean says, practice every day this week, but it did not go as well as I would like. That's okay. Because we're just practicing and practicing and practicing, and just show me how you're doing, and we'll figure out what happened this week, and we'll make some small adjustments, and so that next week it's more just staying on track than it is, you know, banging your head against the wall trying to get everything together. So I'm interested in how Dean's week is going. Now I got my now. So how did it not go as well as you would have liked, Dean? Curious about that. I've done a new schedule where I'm getting a lot more done during the week. A lot more done. And getting a little bit of rest during the week too. I'm taking what we've been talking about for the past 2 weeks is doing something a little bit every day. Let's say for the podcast. You know, usually what would happen is I think about it, talk about it, and then Monday morning, figuring out what I'm going to say, and then by 4:00 Monday afternoon, I'll get it. But now I'm 75% of the way finished, you know, for Monday. So I've been doing a little bit every day, just 20 minutes. I just did 20 minutes every day writing this stuff. So I've been kind of taking my advice for guitar practicing and using it for a lot of different things. One of the big things for me is getting to bed a little bit earlier, so I can get up early and get to these things. So David says, I can join you tomorrow. Just send me a link. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to try something new. It's called StreamYard. And I'll send you a link, and it'll be it should be easier than the Zoom thing. It'll just ask you, will you allow it to use your phone and your microphone and video? And you say yes, and then it just puts you in the chat room right there. And then I bring you in. I'm going to try it out tomorrow with you, Dean. And also, I don't know if you guys were here early on or got to listen early on, but on Sunday, we have a very special guest on Sunday. Can anybody guess who our special guest is on Sunday? So Dean's, yeah, rhythm. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Those are things to be, you know, to in the beginning with rhythm, spending extra time on that is worth every minute of it. So if it didn't go as good this week as you would have liked, and it's because of rhythm, it's worth spending a little extra time on it there. So rhythm is everything. It's in everything that you do. So that's good. That's a good, of all the things that you could have said, I'm glad that's the one that you said. So awesome. Looking forward to that video. Let's see. Evan Rev Ev says, practice was really good this morning, but I'm probably thinking more about my picking hand than I'm supposed to be right now. Yeah, because I'm thinking about your picking hand right now. I'm getting that. We're gonna slowly, yeah, like I said, don't you worry about it. Just let me take care of it. We're gonna slowly over time get that picking hand solid, really solid, so that it's prepared for whatever you need to do with it. So yeah, you just don't worry about that. You just let me handle that. Okay. Evan R says, have tried setting up a recording DAW. What a time burn. Any suggestion on the easiest way to get some basic drum loops? What kind of drum loops are you looking for? Are you looking for MIDI drum loops? And what are you doing it for? Just recording over the drum loops, or using it for practice? So the easiest way to get some basic drum loops. So there's the one that I always use is called Easy Drummer, and it's it costs money. There is one, I forget the name of it, that's similar to that can get you some basic drum loops for recording. But a lot of them have a standalone. If you just want it to hear the drum loops, there's one way to do that. But if you're doing for recording, setting up a DAW, what I could talk you through that. So Evan says, which DAW? Here's Gloria. Gloria says, playing the chord progression, and when I loop it, it's really slow. And then when I try to solo over, I lose my place on it. I get lost. My rhythm gets out of whack. Yeah, with the loop pedal, it takes a little bit of time to get used to that. The first thing that people have a problem with the loop pedal is when you stop the loop, right? So a lot of people, they'll start the loop, they'll start playing, and you gotta, if you're tapping your foot, when you stop the loop, you want to get it as close to on that last beat as possible. And if you don't, you can hear it. It's like a hiccup almost when the loop turns around. It's not in time, So a metronome at first when you're looping, and then make sure that when you turn the loop off, when you hit the last time, that it's right on the beat. That's something like that. But let me read this again. I'm playing the chord progression, and when I loop it, it's really slow. And when I try to solo over, I lose my place on it. I get lost. My rhythm gets out of whack. That's okay. That's in the beginning. You'll get used to that. I would start off with small chord progressions. Maybe a 2. Here, let me get my guitar. All right, so let's get a little loop going here. I would do just 2 chords. And stop it right there. And practice that. Practice getting that beat. So here I'm gonna do it where it doesn't line up really well. Okay, so here I didn't. Here's where it'll turn around. Hear that hiccup right there? I didn't get it right on the beat. So you could even practice 1 chord. So if your problem is, you also said that you lose your place on it too. I just do two chords in the beginning, so you can really hear when that chord changes. So if you've got a chord progression you're working on, if it's like a blues or if it's like something like that, just do the 1 chord for a while. And then the next time, try and loop the 2 chord for a while. That way you're not losing your place. And then add a chord progression in. So if you're just practicing over it, isolating those chords at first, and then adding a 2 chord loop, then when you go with that, then a 3 chord loop, that might help too. Hope I understood what you were saying and hope some of that made sense. Evan R says, I'm practice and recording over drum loops. Okay, I thought it would be fun to create a simple recording with a drum and a blues rhythm and lead improv. Drum, blues rhythm, and a lead improv. So, and did you say which? Evan R says, I tried Cakewalk. For some reason, the guitar sound came through muddy. Have gotten Ardor working. That's a Linux. Yeah, I think I've used Ardor before. And I think it does take VST. So, let's see here. Free VST drum plugins. Let's see here. What was it called? Okay, it was MT Power Drum Kit 2. Let me put the website in. It's a multi-layer. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So let me put this in the chat. Okay, so this is a free VST, and it's set up very similar to Easy Drummer, where it has a drum set sounds in it, and then you can pick the different grooves. And then once you find the grooves that sound the way you want, you can either line them up in the plugin, or what most people do is they just click them and drag them into your timeline. So I would try that first before I went buying anything. I used to use Linux a lot, and I know that's a good DAW. It's been around for a while too. So, and let's see here. Let me see if I can show it on the stream here. No, that's not it. That's Jerry's pretzel. Here, okay. Here, let's get rid of Jerry's pretzel and go. There it is right there. So you've got all the different drums right here. And then you can pick, it's got all of the different MIDI loops that trigger those drums. And you can just click them and drag them over into a new MIDI track right there. And should be pretty easy to get a good drum sound down, I would think. Okay. Is this MT Power Drum Kit? Yeah. MT Power Drum Kit 2. Yeah, I'm gonna let's see here. Yeah, right here, tested hosts. Tested hosts Ardor's right here, so it'll work fine. It'll work. It's tested on the DAW that you're using. So pretty neat. And then if you like that and you want more sounds or different sounds, then you could always go with Easy Drummer too. And it says, okay, I'll give that a try. It mentions Wine for a VST bridge, which is how I got. Yeah, Wine lets you use all sorts of cool stuff in Linux. So, very cool. Okay. But, you know, between Cakewalk and Ardor, they're pretty similar. The guitar sound came through muddy. I wonder why. I wonder why. Brennan's here. Hey, Brennan. How you doing, man? How's everything going? Let's see here. Evan says, I struggled with the looper until I started doing with metronome. Yeah, it's the when you're done the loop, that's the biggest way it can get kind of messed up. Is you have to have that, you have to hit it right on when the first beat of the next measure hits, and that's when they'll start to feel natural, you know. Evan says, okay, I'll give that a try. That's wine. Okay, cool. Yeah, so. Oh, Brendan, that's good. I'm glad you're doing good. Happy Friday to you too. So. Hammer-ons and pull-offs. That's going to be our theme for next week. And I've seen different people struggle with different aspects of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And I've seen problems with finger placement, getting close enough to the frets, especially on stretches. I've seen problems with not pressing out hard enough to make the string go out. Trills where you're hitting other strings, tapping, that kind of stuff. I've seen problems with people having finger pain from doing this, hand pain, back of your hand, wrist pain, those things. So those are the things I'm going to be talking about this week. You guys let me know about hammer-ons and pull-offs. Is this something that you incorporate in your playing, or is it something that you've tried? I think most of us have tried it. I know when I first started, even on that acoustic guitar I had that was like the strings were like that far away from the fretboard, I still wanted to try it. So I'm curious about how you guys incorporate hammer-ons and pull-offs in your playing. Yeah, I think, I might make a little video on that, and maybe on the drum plug-in, and maybe I could do a side-by-side comparison of that and Easy Drummer too. I don't have my Steven Slate drums. Maybe I do. I don't know. This may not be on this computer yet. I'm not sure. But we got a good group here. We got Brendan and Evan and Gloria. I think Kevin was in here earlier. Dean, and that might be it for today. But we got a good group. Looking forward to your videos for tomorrow. I'm going to be getting to them as early as I can, and my goal is to have them up that night, so that you have a full week to work on them. So if you put them in on Saturday by 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll have them to you that night. And same with Sunday, and streamline through those. Dean says hammer-ons are okay, not so with pull-offs. So let's do let's talk about pull-offs. So a lot of people, when they first start to play pull-offs, we'll do it here, they just lift their finger up. And what ends up happening is the volume on the pull-off goes really low. So you get a nice loud. So the trick with pull-offs is to pull them towards the floor. So for me, okay, so here's the floor. So notice how my finger's going that way. And so you actually use the pad of your finger to pluck the string. So even when you get going fast, it looks like you're just going up and down, but I'm taking my pinky that's what you're talking about. Yeah, on the I'm actually using the calluses that I've built up as a pick. So fretting the note, and actually when you fret, I fret it on this side of my finger, so I get the whole callus to push to pluck the string with the finger. And the thing that trills are always, I'm playing this trill. I wonder how long I can play it. The thing that surprises the people the most about hammer-ons and pull-offs is how it wears on your hand. How you can't do it for so long. And you see guys like Angus Young doing Thunderstruck, and then Eddie Van Halen does all this kind of stuff. And after a minute or so, like my hand starts to cramp up. It's done, and they just go on and on and on. So it's the kind of thing where you need to practice a little bit and work your way up to it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to have examples, several different examples, for someone who's just getting into it, all the way up to some more advanced stuff. Okay, so practice is going okay. Evan's going fishing. And we talked about hammer-ons and pull-offs. We've got everybody's waiting on their Spark amp, and I felt bad for David because he was waiting so long. Come to find out, he's one of the first people to get it. Everybody else is still waiting on theirs. I think Marty was the other person who's got one coming, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken. And David says, was trying Thunderstruck. They said pull-off were easier than alt picking. Yeah, and that's the sound of it's a different sound. See, I'm changing it. I'm not playing it exactly like that. Hey, Chris. How are you doing, man? So, Chris, we've done the news. We're talking about practicing a little bit. We talked about getting drum sounds in your recording. And then we talked a little. I'm going to be talking about hammer-ons and pull-offs this week. Did anyone figure out who the special guest is going to be on Sunday? I don't know if anybody figured that out yet. A few of you might be pretty excited about it. We'll see. Hey, Mark's here. Good to see you, Mark. How you doing? So, Spark show is tomorrow with David. But then on Sunday, we have another special guest on Sunday. Evan saw a thumbnail already. Right. Scooter. Scooter's going to be here on Sunday. So he's really looking forward to it. And I think he said his gigs are starting back up. Now he's got a gig starting next month. So that'll be fun. But Scooter and I had a really nice conversation. And if we had just recorded that, it would have been awesome. Hey, Mark. Mark says he'll catch the rerun. Yeah, we just went through some news. We had some fun stuff. A Jerry Garcia guitar, a Jimi Hendrix guitar. And then we had an auction. For, let's see here. We had an auction for Marcus King. And then there's the new Bob Dylan movie that's coming. But the thing that gets me about all these news stories is that right there. I swear I've seen a picture of Hendrix playing that guitar, and it's a Japanese with no logo on it. So Chris knows about Japanese guitars. He's the resident Japanese guitar aficionado. So have you seen guitars like this before, Chris, in your Japanese endeavors there? Scooter, I never heard of him. Yeah, he's a myth. He's a myth. He's not real. So it'll be fun. So the where Scooter's expertise is acoustic music, amplifying acoustic music, fingerstyle, guitar, those things. Alternate tunings, open tunings is something that he uses a lot. And so these are, that's his wheelhouse. That's what he does. So this could be for you guys who are interested in fingerstyle guitar. This would be somebody, and singing and playing too. That's his thing. Scooter was for years he was he was a children's artist. He did albums that are still out there today, and which was cool. It gets kids into real music. It wasn't like kid music, but it was and then he went into, playing out and doing all these things. So very excited for that. And I apologize in advance if we get off topic, because it's going to happen. It always does. Usually in the middle of a gig, it does. So, Evan wants to know, Reverend Ev 2000 wants to know if we'll get the Bug Zapper, the Pest Killer 2000. I'll have to see if it's available, but I would assume that would come in. Did you guys watch that back yet? What was it, last Saturday? I laughed all day over that. That was good. That was a fun one. Brendan says, wow, very cool group pie on this one. We missed on Kurt's guitar. Yeah, I think we're going to probably miss on this one too. This was, what did they say, 50,000, 500? I don't know. Let's see here. What are they? It's starting at 50,000. I mean, it's closer than any of the other guitars that we've taken a look at. We'll do it like the lottery. We'll all chip in and everybody can take turns. Chris says, yeah, I like the skinny pickups. Yeah, it's I'm trying to figure out. I think it was like one of his kind of like Little Richard pictures or one of those things. Actually, you know what? It might have been the Army. They had a picture of when he played guitar in the Army with Buddy, it was Billy Cox. And then another guy, they had a picture of that too. Brendan says, I missed out. And Chris says, I just spotted on my Facebook that Dave Sparrow's been modding a Strat. Cool. Like to see it. New neck, popped a rail in the bridge position, and a new bridge too. Pretty neat. We could do that sometime. You know what I might do when I get where I'm going and I get all my stuff and get all the different parts out that I have, we could come up with some different ideas. I have a lot of different like rail pick. What made me think of that is the rail pickups. I got a lot of different Duncan. Got like a Hot Rails. I've got a Jeff Beck Jr. A lot of those kind of Strat replacements. And I can't. This thing has kind of done it. Kind of taken their place, but I'm thinking thinking about getting like a high gain pedal board, different than this. This is definitely a blues and a hard rock pedal board. I'm thinking about getting a serious high gain, Satriani type, lead guitar, Steve Vai type pedal board for my Marshall. I found myself watching Joe Satriani rig rundowns and seeing how he runs it. He runs his Marshalls pretty much clean, but he picks his speakers for for his full out distortion sound, and I guess he just does his best with whatever clean sound that those speakers will give him there. So yeah. Well, everybody, it's coming up on the hour. If you have any questions or anything I help you with, let me know before we take off. And it was good to see everybody. Kind of really excited about this weekend. Really excited about hanging out with David tomorrow and seeing his amps. Really excited to bring Scooter on here. I'm excited to try out the new platform tomorrow. If it works good tomorrow, then I'll go all in on it and theme it and everything. But what's really neat is you can feature, and you'll see this tomorrow, chat. So if someone has a chat message that we're actively talking about, it pops up big at the bottom, which is pretty neat. So really excited about this weekend. I hope you guys join me this weekend. But a good group we had today. And I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for popping in, everybody. And look forward to hanging out with David tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.